important things like best map, worst map, most played, least played, first ban, first pick. And Inferno doesn't even show up on any of those in SAW. So it's one of these like super middle of the pack maps for this team, which can be a little bit dangerous when you know that you're coming up against a team who have picked this. It's usually their first pick. You know they're comfortable on it. So it could be very tough. I mentioned earlier this could be our coin flip map, and well, it kind of has to be, I suppose.
We'll have to wait and see. SAW gonna have to do their best. They're gonna be starting out on the CT side. We saw them on this side straight away last night, if I remember correctly. They've got diffuse kit, lots of utility as well on them. See if they're going to be able to make the plays here that they need to.
There's a little bit of presence up here towards Banana, but most of it seems to be moving over towards Apps, and of course there's a 3-person stack in top mid. They could be able to position themselves quite nicely here, but okay, so actually pulling back a little bit. Yeah, they might have actually, either they have, no, they kind of realized it because they're still kind of hovering a little bit. They have no idea. Massive information starve.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a slow play coming in from SKADE, to be honest, and I respect it. Inferno is a really interesting one. I love playing and love teams, like seeing teams go play aggressive. But when you're playing slow and you're able to get yourselves into position to play for an execution, it's fantastic. And that's what we're going to see here. Smoke over towards long, towards library, covering that up. So Roman's going to be in a perfect position, but he only does some damage. No actual frags. He's got limited ammo left. He's going to get taken down by Bubble. The flash from Arky is going to be coming through, but doesn't really achieve too much. The grenade from the side of SKADE is going to come into favor. It doesn't really deliver much. Arky's just going to be left in a bit of a precarious situation as the T's are going to be coming flying onto site. I'm not even quite sure how he come that fast onto site, but Justin Arky going to be able to get a kill each of the ships, realizing suddenly the net is closing in. They're going to have to do something, but they can't do anything. multikill is going to be able to get the final kill, and that is going to be the first round going in favor of SAW, very convincingly as well, with only one player dropping from the side of the CTs.
Roman died for it. Gives over the information. Hey guys, 3 guys are pushing up top mid. Probably going to be A. Rotations start to come through. It also doesn't help because Ships is now moving all the way over towards the B site. Again, maybe trying to catch someone on a rotation or something to that effect. And is a little bit late to meet up with the rest of the team. And we saw SAWMUTiRiS like hiding out on the site. No one expects him to be there. So really great crossfires, really great unexpected angles here from SAW. That's going to net them this first round and a half. Able to... Oh, we got a little bit of firepower behind them here. Not a huge investment, but definitely better than the pistols that SKADE have. So, yeah, definitely looking good into this one.
Oh, they're going to be putting over towards the side with the MP9 going to be coming in favor. We can't hit last couple of bullets. Finally, going to be able to take down ships with the MP9. I honestly wasn't sure if he was going to be able to quite do that. Lost one player, but fortunately they've got control of the weaponry from him and also the P250 on the floor. I think it was P250 anyway. And Just is going to be over towards long, using the MP9 as long-range gun, but it's going to be multikill with the MP9 picked up off the floor. And Just going to be able to get another kill. And Dreamer, last one left alive, has been spotted over towards the T-stairs, the ramp rather, and he should just be able to do the damage here. That was actually fairly close. SKADE going to be fairly low on HP as he took down that last player, and the money is looking fairly good on their side, but this is going to be a buy round.
Well, thankfully, losing HP doesn't really have an effect getting into the next round. Thank goodness for that for SKADE. So it comes out on top of that trade, and yeah, they come out of that round. That's another round where they only lose like 1 player. It's solid. 2 rifles into this one as well, but of course they're going into a full buy from SKADE. This is an aggressive push into Banana. Good grief.
Oh, he's just been able to make his way down the wood. This is a key position, but unfortunately because of that smoke, it's very obvious as to what's happened there. And gaining control over Banana this early on is fantastic. It just gives them complete versatility and being able to say, okay, we'll fall back with one of our players and just hold that with an MP9. And he's actually just going to fall back now instead, so he has a little bit of an extra time to hold over towards the B side. Maybe even go for a rotation. 2 Molotovs used. Actually, a smoke and a Molotov over towards long from the T side. Utility is starting to get drained. 4 smokes left over, though. They can still go for a full rotation and hold if they want to anywhere else. Dreamer going to have to be fairly careful. Nade's going to be going out. Doesn't do any damage, but this could be a shot. And if we see SKADERainwaker go down. This could be a takedown and a push over towards that B site. And that's not what you want from these teams. Still looks like it's going to be an A take, and they have got the utility to be able to execute on with some smokes, but the Molotov is just going to be cutting them down. It seems to be rather spray through the smokes coming through. Doesn't really achieve much. Dreamer going to be backing up. Time is ticking, 25 seconds. They've got no time to play with flashes as well. This is a round they just have to push over to B, and that's exactly what they're doing. Multiple of the players pushing over. SKADERainwaker has now called this on. 2 of the players rotating through, but it's going to be a little bit too late. He has to do God's work. He's taking down one. Looking to take down another one, but it's going to be super difficult. He just has to delay the inevitable. He does exactly that. He's going to go down, and now the retake has to come into play. Just is going to be able to do a lot of damage, but not quite the frag. Denislaw is going to be down 31 HP. Just low enough for the M4 to be highly in this situation. Oh no, how is this going so wrong? SKADE playing fantastically. Arky's finally going to be able to get a nice trade up here, but it's still going to be in favor of the T's. But one of the players is going to be completely... Wait, what are you doing, Roman? Why are you back over here? Surely they would be pushing over here. But the bomb should be going off in a couple of seconds, if I'm right in saying, and that is going to be a huge loss for the CT side. This is not a round they should have lost.
I actually quite like the way that SKADE played this, though, and I think that there are a few factors that kind of play into that. So, of course, there's a lot of aggression down Banana, so there's a little bit of, like, jump peeking happening, and one shot through Banana is enough to force, I believe it was Dododo who was holding Banana, and just one shot into the ether is enough to force him all the way to the back of the B side. He's given up that space entirely because he knows that he can't stem the tide of a rush, so he has to pull back. And off of something so small, the information gets conveyed, oh, it's basically empty here, and then the rush does come in, but at that point, SAW has taken too long to clock it. So SKADE actually play that quite well. As much as SAW should have won that one, just really good performance. Okay.
Very well played. And I think this is just a little bit scary for SAW, because as soon as the buy round came round, SKADE were like, cool, we've got this unlocked. We're going to play it slightly differently to how you may want us to. We're just going to keep on baiting you out, try to find a kill here there if we can. And even if we can't, we're just going to use up your utility and then just go for a full execution. And that kills over towards the B site. In fact, that there were no real trades happening as well was just absolutely brutal for the side of SAW. Once again, we're going to see the set up, but this time it's going to be over towards B. They have full utility available. They're probably going to use a decent amount of utility straight off the bat to bait in some plays. Interestingly, there's not really a very strong hold over towards the B site, so this execution should go in fairly hard for them. Just is in a key position, but he can easily be dealt with as long as they put in the right smokes and flashes. And here we go, full execution is going to be in play. The spray through the smoke is going to be coming through, but he's going to be tagged down more than the others. Justin's going to get tagged down as well. He has to drop down. This is a complete lack of hold on towards the side of B. The bomb should be going down momentarily, but the MP9 is going to get boosted up. He gets killed, but the trade is coming through. Just going to be able to take down ships. In the meanwhile, the bomb should be able to go down. That tag is huge, but he doesn't get the kill. The bomb has now been planted. Nope, it's going to get denied before it could go through. But a double kill is going to be coming on to the side of the CTs. There's not really too much they can do, but they turn around. Argy doing a fantastic job, gets one. Spots out the final player. They know where he is. The bomb is still dropped down there. And Denislaw is just running for the hills. He's like, all right, well, I've had enough. There's 0 seconds left on the clock. We left it too long, and we got slaughtered.
It seems a little bit of an opposite scenario, though, because I felt like SKADE had a decent advantage there. But they don't really clear the back of site effectively. And unfortunately, it makes a retake. It wasn't even a retake because the bomb doesn't get planted. And they make it so much easier for SAW to re-enter onto the site and kill them. I am enjoying a reasonably slow playstyle here from SKADE, because I think on a map like this, when you're on your T side, you have to be a little bit more cautious. But at the same time, as you mentioned, they run the clock down so far, they don't give themselves any sort of breathing room. And of course, SAW not looking to give them any breathing room either, because SAW is really good at taking early map control. And we've seen it a couple of times, particularly with that really aggressive banana push a couple rounds back from SKADERainwaker. I was actually hoping to see a little bit more of that as the rounds go on, but instead also just playing it a little bit more safe, because you know you can.
You just play it a little bit slower. See what these guys are going to be able to do. Back, just messing around. I was like, you know, it's surprised he didn't go play some noughts and crosses there. He's only got 9 HP. It's going to be a little bit frustrating for him. Any execution they do, he knows that he's going to be the weakest link in regards to points, but not as slow as Waker, who unfortunately does get taken down. Advantage down the CT side. This is everything they wanted, but they've only got 2 flashes, 2 smokes. They're going to be a bit of a difficult situation to try and hold off a push. Especially as I think, if I'm right in saying, yeah, one of those smokes is actually over towards the B site. But the rotation seems to be actually backing off from the A site over towards B. So that's going to depend if SKADERainwaker is going to be able to read this correctly. And this is just going to be a save. This is an interesting play. They've decided that this is not even worth them playing for. So they're going to go into the next round with very limited utility and very limited ability on this front. And so they're probably just talking to each other right now. And back in 1.6 and other games, there were no pauses. There were no other ways of being able to like have a tactical talk. So it used to be that teams used to just, you know, just mess around and be like, okay, well, let's talk this through. This is a throwaway round. Let's chat.
Yeah, I see that quite often where you'll see like a timeout come out in a pistol round, in a save round, because you know, like in a round where you know you have to play through the round, you know that you're basically going to lose it, so you kind of extend your talking time a little bit as well. So that also tends to factor in, but that also feels like a round where SKADE could have done a little more. They didn't really, I suppose they bait out a bit of utility, but I mean, given how much economy SAW have at the moment, it makes very little difference. The difference maker, of course, seems to have been that timeout. That's a good start to the round.
That's going to be very nice. The start of the round out by taking down Arky, who has had 5 kills so far this round, being a huge sort of player in regards to SAW's lineup. This time round, he's not going to be able to play with anything aside from the time he's given to think about his previous actions. Now we're going to be seeing the execution back on over towards B site. Just is going to have to be the key player here, but that flash is going to be working back. Molotov going to be coming out, but not before the kill. The trade comes through, but honestly, it's going to be too little, too late. And now the push over towards site has happened. Bubble may well be by himself, but not for long as the full execution is coming through. The player is going to be on site. This should be a nice, easy plant for them, and I'd be surprised if they're going to be able to get dug out of this situation. Some early kills are going to have to come through, but it's just not happening at the moment. multikill are going to be able to get over towards site. I'm not sure how he made this, but he can't get the kill. And I think this is round over for their side. A 2 versus 4 situation. Some players are going to come in huge, but Roman, he's just holding up behind them. His favorite place seems to be away from the action at the moment and just holding back behind them. And there's actually no players back there, so they're just going to have to go in for a save. SKADERainwaker is just going to be holding this angle, waiting for someone to push him. And you know what? If I was SKADE, I'd be wanting to make sure I get the weapons out of their hands, but they don't really have the cash to risk that.
Honestly, this round makes me really happy. We were, or at least I was, hoping for a little bit more aggression out of this. You know, we talked about how they tended to kind of run the clock down on themselves and kind of play themselves a little bit. So it was nice to see a resurgence of that really strong aggressive play that we had seen way over on Nuke. And it works out quite well for them, so they do finally get themselves a second round on the board here. This has been a lot less scrappy than what we have seen between these two teams, but it's nice to see that SKADE are still maintaining some skin in this game. And of course, after winning that round, looking pretty good economically. And SAW, because this has been a little bit more scrappy than they would have liked, yes, they have mostly M4s, but it's still not the ideal situation to be in. And you can see they're super low on credits right now because, you know, they lost that round.
We're going to be seeing an active aggression over towards Banana, and Justice is going to get tacked down heavily. This is really not looking so good for them, and unfortunately I'm seeing a little bit of a reoccurrence of the mistakes on SAW's side in regards to what we saw on Dust 2 and some other maps yesterday as well, especially on Inferno, where they're not really acting as a collective. They're a little bit sporadic and not able to use that utility as correctly as they may well want.
Mm-hmm. This is uncharacteristic. I mean, it's fairly standard for this map, but these slow, like, I'm not used to having this much downtime. Not today, anyway.
Well, I think that's about to change now. Flash is going to be going out. Just is in a bad position. Unfortunately, his arm is going to get spotted. He's pretty much dead for the wall, so nothing he can do there. Sprays through the smoke's going to happen, but he just gets countered straight away, and they've just lost sight straight away. I just don't even see this really being that possible for them to try and get this back. multikill isn't even really playing it that well. He tries to do the damage, but he's just not going to be able to get it down there. And this just has to be a save again on the side of SAW. So that's 2 back-to-back rounds where they just had a little bit of lackluster. And I mean, I just want to talk about just that he pushed into a position which was hugely dangerous to be able to do. You know your arm's going to be able to be spotted by loads of people, and even then it's just a high risk, not even that high reward of a position at most times. So, to be honest, I think that was a massive mistake on his side.
That being said, this was a better round from SKADE. I also do like seeing that they're changing up their pacing a little bit here. We spoke on Inferno about how they kind of kept hitting in the A site, and it became quite telegraphed. And so you want to avoid those kinds of situations. So it's nice to see that they are making some adaptations from round to round and trying different things to see, well, what is going to get them the best results. And so far, they've been doing really well to string some of these rounds together. And they've now put SAW into a horrific position overall. As we're looking at possibly evening things up by the end of this round. And of course, we have seen crazier things come out of low buys, but it feels like this should be SKADE finally getting themselves back into this and possibly working towards gaining some sort of a lead.
1 round lead. It's a good start to at least something. Good utility presence on both sides. Pretty much exactly the same, to be fair. A little bit less so on SAW's side. 2 MP9s, 3 M4s. They're going to have 3 players playing over towards B. I think they should be playing for banana control. If they don't play for banana control, I think they're going to be regretting it. But it's going to be a bit of a fight on it, and no one ends up actually sitting in banana so far.
It seems like SAW might have clocked a potential aggressive push into banana, so they dump quite a bit of utility into that one to try and stem that and stop that from pushing through. Now they're going to hold a fairly passive angle, not pushing out too unnecessarily. I mean, they know that they could just wait it out a little bit, see if anything more comes through. There you go, finally going to see that push. Might still turn around though. SKADE back into a far more slow play style, potentially with a bit of a fake over towards B. But given how much that utility they've used here, might be time to commit soon.
4 smokes, 2 mollies, 3 flashes. This is definitely going to be a good setup over towards B, and there's only going to be 2 B players up here, both with the MP9s. They have some counter utility, but unfortunately we've not really seen them make a full use of that before. Smoke does go down to counter that incendiary grenade. Unfortunately, that was most of the utility on the side of CTs to be able to counter this. Grenade does go down, does a bit of damage. I'll give them that. Unfortunately, it's not going to be too much. And you know what? If I was CT, just fully dedicated to holding this site, you've got a much better chance of being able to retake a site at this point in time. They're going to be going in for the boost. Arc is going to be fantastic. He does a lot of damage. He takes down 1 and almost the second one. Dennis Law is going to be super low as they push on. This MP9 is going to be in a key position. He's going to be able to do a bit of damage, but not the frag. And now it's going to be Arky. He's going to get taken down, and straight away, I mean, B has been taken over, and they had every chance to be able to hold on to this. They're going to be able to come in. The trade, unfortunately, coming through, and Roman on the other side of the map, which seems to be a common theme on this part. A little bit of a difference of opinions, it seems. That one was like, okay, I'm going to go in for the clutch on this, and Roman was like, nope.
But I mean, this seems to be something that SAW have been doing for a few rounds now. They wait so long to rotate, and even when the push is coming through, they don't commit as many resources, and by that I mean manpower, as they realistically could. And by the time they realize, oh, we should probably move more people over, SKADE have already overrun the site. And it feels like they're a little bit scared of a possible fake, and then, oh, we've got no one on the A site. How do we retake that? And to be fair, I mean, trying to get back in onto the A site if you're all the way on B for a potential retake can be quite difficult. Given in that point, roles kind of reversed, and T's are able to take advantage of all of those choke points. But at the same time, they're giving up way too much space unnecessarily. They're giving advantages over to SKADE that they really shouldn't be. And now SKADE, like we mentioned, finally getting into that even round. Oh no,
Arky's going to be able to get a double headshot with the scout. Absolutely fantastic. Roman's taken down, but you know what? I would take that trade in a heartbeat. That's going to be good, but unfortunately, it's going to be a pistol round for most of the players. So it's going to be a definite big struggle for them to be able to hold on to the B site, even with the advantage on manpower. They haven't got the guns in this one at all. Lose manpower pretty much straight away. Ships is going to be able to come in, get a kill. Just is going to be on site. He misses the headshot, though. You need to hit those, Just. You have the ability to just apply yourself, and Muta's going to be the last one left alive. Pushes down Banana. He is going to be playing in for vengeance, I think, on this front. He's going to be in a 1v2. We've seen this man. He's clutched huge rounds before in 1v3s. And on this map, yeah, you're right in saying. So there's definitely an opportunity for him to do this. He has got a kit. Everything to play for. He chucks down the smoke. Flash is going to be going out. A bit different than what I'd expected. He touches it on. He's trying to get the information out on this front. He needs to jump up here, find one of the kills. He has to make a silent jump across. Instead, he's going to go in for the hold on the defuse and now bait them out as they push on over. I'm not quite sure they realize what is going on. He's going to be able to find one. He has to find the second. He might just be able to do it. No, the clock of all guns takes him down, but the bomb was going off either way with no chance to defuse rule. That was painful, but honestly, the best play that they've done so far, and it didn't even end up in a win of the round.
SAWMUTiRiS is actually such a smart player. I love watching him. And that was just another one of those instances where he's really trying to get into SKADE's head there to try to swing that back in his favor. But unfortunately, just wasn't able to make that happen. That was a solid round from SKADE. I think the most depressing part of that round was when you scope in and then you unscope and then die to a scout. And that was a little bit of the momentum shifter, I think.
SKADErainwaker, meanwhile, over towards A is taking out one. This might change the mind, actually. Instead of going over towards B, they switch it up and go over towards A, which would be the biggest nightmare from SAW, because they're like, well, they never come towards A. They are doing it this time round. Roman's going to get caught off guard. The flash is just absolutely perfect. The executions are just on point. SKADE are just demolishing the side of SAW each and every time they go up against them.
Caught sleeping in patio there, and I think it is a kind of a case of they normally play really slow and they never come A. So you're not really expecting them. They've been conditioned. We talk about how important conditioning is, and so they're not really expecting it. They're holding the angle. They're like, oh well, just in case. But you get a little bit caught off guard there. You've got some of that utility coming out, some of the flashes coming through as well, and you get caught with your pants down. So this is going to be okay. I mean, Just is not looking to make this easy.
That was really well played. Being able to get a couple of extra kills is going to be bumping up your economy as well as Wilson. The T's to be able to buy. Ooh. Finally, we see SKADE get a kill with his orb. He's really just not had much luck so far. And somehow that went from, what was that? I think a 4 people, like five potential surviving on SKADE's side to just 1 person living. SKADErainwaker, who got the initial kill in towards A. And then allowed the rest of his team to be able to file in, get the kills. They ended up all rushing over towards B, and for once, they were able to hold it. They were able to hold B, but unfortunately the bomb was planted at A, lads.
Hold B when it doesn't really matter. That's unfortunate. They do make it fairly expensive for SKADE at the very least, but I mean, given how many rounds they've managed to string together now, it doesn't make the biggest of differences in the world, unfortunately. So now SAW. Max lost bonus, so at least they've got something to play with here. Decent util. Need to turn this around somehow. And SKADE have just kind of been running circles around them. You know, once they started to build up that momentum, once they started to kind of feel the groove a little bit more, start changing up their play styles a little bit. So, I mean, they keep running the same defense over and over and over again, and nothing seems to change. You know, we're still seeing really late rotations. We're still seeing uncertain rotations when they do happen. And SKADE are just doing really well at picking that apart.
It's going to be down to Just to try and get this, but once again, just completely failing. And now the AWP player's coming through. He gets 1, but that's all she wrote. He's going to get taken down. SKADErainwaker's doing fantastic. Takes down 2, maybe even 3. Can't quite make it. He does a lot of damage, but can't quite get the clutch. And over towards mid, I don't think they're going to expect SKADErainwaker. Maybe they do, actually. They're going to be backing off. Argy instead going through CT with his teammate. If they play this aggressive enough, they should have this in the bag. The bomb's gone down. They're not going to expect Waker rather to be all the way over towards mid at the moment. But again, they are just playing this fairly slowly. You can see how slow this has happened. It's allowed SKADErainwaker to rotate all the way on over. He's gone down towards Banana, though. The kills happen. This should allow them to enter the site. There's no gap in the smoke. Now he's going to have to do kills. He's going to be spraying. His position is no, he's going to be able to get a kill. No, Rome! They're going to get a kill. And finally, a round in a while. It seems like it's been a drought for the side of SAW, who started this game off so well with getting multiple rounds together. Just struggled for so long to be able to get anything in the bag. And finally going to be able to get around. And that was a retake, not a safe defense. And even with the rotation of SKADERainwaker, getting the hold on towards the B site wasn't enough.
I was a little concerned because, again, it was one of these cases where SAW takes so long to finally start rotating. But thankfully, they'd done enough damage in the early round that it made it okay. Especially because Rainwaker was so far away at the time. So things do kind of work out in their favor a little bit here. They make a little bit more noise in the earlier half of the round, which is really important. Nice little boost here. Not going to net much, but it does get information.
Oh, it's going to be the perfect play from multikill, but he's only going to be able to get one. It's painful. We have got the rotation from the B players, though. This should be signaling to the T side to just actually go back on over. Just cause them to have their greatest fear come to life, but just over towards long. Going to be able to get a kill over towards Ships, who is going to get found out, and so is Dennis Lord. This is the first time in a while that sort of actually being played with a little bit more confidence and style. And he's going to be down to SKADERainwaker, who's going to be able to get a kill. Bomb's gone down. He's going for the second one. Realizes the player, especially around the corner. He's going to back off. Not wanting to die. That was a fantastic free fire from Dreamer. But in a 1v4, he's going to have to pull something off incredible to be able to do this. And he's waiting for these players to come around the corner. But instead, you know what? Get the bomb down. Look at the money. They haven't got much to play with next round unless he managed to get this kill. One round bonus, and that's it. No weapons going through.
Wait so long. Okay, it's a tough call because, again, you don't necessarily know exactly where the CTs are. You don't necessarily know if they're in a position to be able to swing on you, or if they've kind of hunkered down in behind a few more twists and turns and make it a bit longer to deny that plant. So unfortunately, they're not able to get those extra credits, which is definitely not a great position here. But we have evened out the scoreline, so we're finally starting to see SAW start to wake up a little bit here. And again, it's Justin Multikill who are doing the Lord's work on this team, consistently being so strong, such a boon. And SKADE seem to be leaning heavily on Ships, one of those players that we had kind of highlighted early on in the broadcast and showing you exactly what he's made of.
Oh, he may well end up going down here if he's not careful. Down to 8 HP. I honestly thought Bubble was going to be able to get that kill there, but, you know, thankfully he wasn't able to. So we can take a little bit of a chill pill. We can, you know, wind up, chat a little bit, annoy them, troll them a little bit. That's what I always love doing, but SKADE, they've been performing absolutely fantastically so far, so I think losing a couple of rounds here doesn't really matter. I think they're going to be feeling fairly confident as we get into this last moment. SKADERainwaker is going to be able to get a kill. Using a P250 instead of his actual sniper. Interesting gameplay. Last person is going to be and Rainwaker is going to get found. So, you know what? Just go back to, I was say, SKADE, if they can get to 7, maybe even 8 rounds on the T side, that's going to be doing them glorious as we go through to the penultimate round.
You talk about winding up chat. I mean, all I have to do is speak. You know, we're at that point. But I must say, so we spoke about how this map does really lend itself to the CTs. And I think what you're saying makes so much sense in that, you know, if SKADE can just string together these next 2 rounds, if they can make this happen for themselves, then they've given themselves a pretty decent buffer into the next. And we'll see if they can bring it home on their CT side. Because they seem to have an okay CT side. You know, even on Nuke, they seem to do okay. But SAW have been pushing them really hard here. Oh, there you go.
Okay, he managed to stay alive. That is important. The use of that smoke is forgivable, but we're going to be seeing the push up towards the SAWMUTiRiS, but he's saying, come at me. I've got your number, and he's going to be calling it in. Dennis Law is going to get taken down. Now, Arky. See what he's got in for him. Roman, I love this plays. The fact that he can actually drop utility now. He's able to secure an extra smoke for his teammate over down towards short, allowing the re-smoke of mid. It's just these tiny details you need to keep an eye on. And obviously, we've said time and time again that SAW's utility usage has just been a little bit weaker, especially on Dust 2 and compared to SKADE, who are just doing fantastic plays with the utility. Just being able to see them do those tiny little things is really nice to see. But what do you make of SAW's utility after I'm talking about it?
I think in that round in particular, it was definitely a lot better. But I also want to just think about how they're starting to read into how SKADE are playing. It's taken them a few rounds to warm up to it, but they kind of clocked that this was likely to be a slightly more aggressive one. So you see all of that utility coming out in Banana. And it's not the first time we've seen SAW throwing out the utility there, but this time they time it so much better than they have been previously. And to get those 2 really early kills, and it does, of course, happen kind of cross map, so you're covering a lot of map space as well. Oh. Sorry, that completely derailed me, but it felt like it could have been something, and then it wasn't.
It's actually super key now for players to die, and MUTiRiS will be able to take him down. He might be able to get a second one. No! That was actually a double kill, so 2 of the players on the side of SAW are going to go down, but they don't care. They managed to take out multiple players on the side of SKADE, which forces them into a difficult position as we go through to the final round of this half.
SKADE really needed to win that one, and then this one as well. Unfortunately, they managed to hold on to one of the AKs, of course, and they're able to put a little bit of a spend into this. Of course, they have to force it being the last round, but it's not the kind of purchase that they would have wanted, but that is a fantastic start. Please pivot off of that.
They're sitting really happy with 6 rounds, I'm not going to lie, but 7 rounds would make all the difference for them. SAW are going to be in a bit of a disadvantage with only 8 rounds, potentially 9. They really wanted to go through to the next half, actually with 10, but to be honest, the fact that they've got 8 is a bit of a surprise with how they've been playing some of this, and that recovery of the M4 just shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been allowed, rather, from the side of SAW, but hey, they didn't want to risk it. That flash worked fantastically, and unfortunately, SKADERainwaker was just too slow, too clumsy to react to that. And now this is going to be a B take, and it's just a walk in the park. They just walk in, and they're completely uncontested. Snipers coming out should get a kill over towards CT, if I'm right in saying. Doesn't quite happen. The shots are missed. Shit. Need to wake up, hit those shots. Doesn't quite happen, though. Okay, of course. Take the harder shot and hit it. Through the smoke, MUTiRiS is going to be falling down. One of the key players here to make this work. 2v5. Danny Slaw is going to be coming up behind. This should really be spell in the end. He's going to be able to spot out, take a player out, and now Just is going to be left in a difficult position in church, and all he can do is pray, and that's not going to be enough. As we finish out this half, and that was a really good half from SKADE. They could take it all the way to 7 rounds. So we're going to go into a short break. We'll be back with the second half. See you then.
And we're back, jumping into the second half. SKADE managed to snatch themselves 7 rounds in that half, which, considering it was their T side, not bad at all. They've given themselves a very good buffer off the back of some fantastic calls, some really good utility usage, and SAW would have really wanted to have a little bit more on that round, but they kick off their T side pretty well.
First kill against a fairly decent player who's been holding some sights. Not playing his ultimately best, but honestly, I don't think he's really had too much of a chance. I actually expected to see more kills on the side of SKADE, but never mind. It is going to be SAW leading the charge here with the kills, and It's going to be an execution over towards A with no one here. Unfortunately, the B stack didn't work. They decided to play the opposite of how SKADE were doing, and they're going to be able to take this A site. Two of them just sitting in apartments like, can we come out, guys? Are we allowed at this point? Multikill is a little bit over-aggressive, but I think he's figured, like, okay, guys, they are definitely at A. Just go do what you want. I think even that use of smoke is a little bit ridiculous, actually, from SKADE. There's no reason to smoke it out that early on. And those extra 2 seconds can make the difference. Justice going to get taken down and running headshot from Bubble. This is actually completely retakeable. The early use of that utility, the over-aggression from a couple of the players is just going to be too much. And somehow SKADE, 4-man stack over towards B, going to show how it's done. Rotating on over. Roman's going to have to do a lot of work here. His teammate SKADE is going to be stuck in a graveyard at the moment in a difficult position. 11 bullets left on Roman at the moment. He's not able to get a kill. He has to kill the bomb diffuser before he can, but he's not going to be able to. And that is going to be a complete wipe with only 1 loss from that rotation. What is going on? SAW, that is not a good look.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rough one. So, Multikill, I understand the logic behind it. You know, peek out a little bit, get that information. He spots 2, maybe 3 players and calls that back. And that's the signal for SAW to aggress in onto the A side. And immediately Multikill tries to pull back, but he gets aggressed on. And it was because he was pushed out really far. And I feel like that information could have been gathered without giving away your own position. So, unfortunately, they go from a numbers advantage to an immediate trade out, and then in a 4-on-4 retake, positioning wasn't great. SKADE managed to get yet another kill on the way in, and it's easy to just kind of pick apart.
Like, at least oh, there we go.
Oh, we're back.
I would say that in that situation, what you should really be doing, and what we've seen other teams do, is that you secure CT, you go get the bomb plant, and then you secure mid as well. Make sure that if there is a rotation on, you get those shots, but you don't over-rotate, lose a couple of players. Use your utility early. Like, I know I've mentioned about it like 2 or 3 times now, but that smoke from SKADE was way too early. If they had that smoke a little bit longer, there was like a difference of 2.1 seconds, or like even less than that. Like, difference between them being able to use that bomb and them not being able to, because they didn't have a diffuse kit available from what I could see. So it's a little bit disappointing on that front, but we're going to be seeing a different execution. And they're going to be trying to fake it out over towards A, whilst the execution over towards B comes to fruition. 4 Galils, 1 Deagle. Molotov is going to be out also. On the side of the CTs, but a lot of damage going to be coming in. The Galil going to be doing a lot of work here, but Ships is going to be able to get 2k. Drops off a grenade. It's not really going to be able to do too much with that. The bomb should be going down momentarily. Oh, no. I don't know. What are you doing? Why did you reload? What's going around the corner? Somehow surviving in this scenario. The bomb is going to be going down, but the aggression is going to be coming through for these players. CT player is going to be going down. A nice hold should be coming in from SKADE and his teammate. They're going to be slaughtering them. 1 player left standing. It's going to be Dreamer. He's got everything to play for here and nothing to lose. He has to go in and play aggressive. He knows that one of the players is around. He's going to be able to take one, almost a second one. They almost brought that back from the brink.
Felt like SAW took an ungodly amount of damage on their way in, and most of it seemed to come from utility, which is, you know, it's a good thing for SKADE, but it's a very dangerous spot to find themselves in. They were so low HP, and like you said, it felt like SKADE had a really good chance there to turn it around. Unfortunately, it comes down to a 2 versus 1, and it's really difficult to come out on top of that one, especially when you don't have a ton of information as to exactly what to expect on the site. So, but unfortunate there. And now we see a pretty strong presence over towards Banana. That's a good start in what is essentially a save round.
Yeah, really nice shots. I do appreciate the Deagles being used as they are. There's going to be close play from the Mag 10. He does get spotted out. He's going to get 1, maybe even a second one if he can. They're going to be pushed around the corner. He gets the kill. What are you doing? Just rushing into the Mag 7. Like lambs to the slaughter.
Love it.
That is going to be a sad turn of events.
You know, I was going to bring up a thing about missing out on some of the shotgun cheese plays. And I'm really glad that we get to see a little bit of it here. It gets way more value than it should have. But again, it comes down to that surprise factor. Who is expecting that around the corner? No one. And it gets so much value, way more value than it should have, realistically. I think maybe 1 kill, 2, you're pushing it. So, well, there you go. SKADE give themselves an advantage in what could have been an unwinnable round, but they are still quite behind in terms of firepower.
I'm still just confused as to what happened that last round with the reload on one of the players as he was going around the corner. It's still just got me stumped as to, what are you doing, bro? Ship's still alive.
Stadodo things.
Yeah, ship's still alive with the Mag 7. He's done a lot of work here with that gun. Lots of cash in the bank as well from it. You can see he's on 1,800 compared to his teammates who at max Stanislaw's on $500. They're potentially going to have to go for this retake. Roman's going to have to be super careful. He's very lucky there's no one behind him right now, but that smoke is going to be giving away the position. He's going to be pushing on through. He's going to get shot from behind, but he has to just forget about it. He knows that he has to allow SAWMUTiRiS to try and hold this himself. And is this them giving this up? No, it can't be. I think they must just be giving over weapons and stuff so they can go in for a proper retake here. As they're going to be doing that, smoke going over towards coffins. We now need to see the reposition of one of the players. Roman holding over towards CT. He has a good position. The smoke push is coming through. This execution of retake is working fantastically. They're using their ability from the other side of the T's to be able to win this one out. The kill's going to be coming through. The spray is working fantastically, but SAWMUTiRiS is going to be on low on HP. He doesn't know if they're still defusing. He's going to push through. Going to get taken down by the Mag 7 all guns, but the bomb is going off, and that's going to be a win, but at what cost?
That was almost an epic bruh moment. I very nearly holds the line at the end there in that post plant. But yeah, I'm still kind of dumbfounded at how much value that M7 gets. I think it's a little bit illegal at that point. And I do like that SKADE do play that a little bit more slowly. Now, I have criticized them for really slow rotations before, but when they're in that position, when they know that they have a massive numbers advantage, not really the end of the world. You know that you have enough time to rotate around once the spike's been planted, and you're covering just about every angle you need to on your re-entry and onto the site. And again, they lose an unprecedented number of players there to smoke spam, but they do manage to eke it out in the end there, which I think is probably the most important part. Despite that, however, economy, not great. Could be better. Not really have a ton going into this one. I mean, Rainwalker, okay, you say just a deagle, but I mean, we know how powerful that can be, but it's still not where you'd want to be. And SAW, despite that loss, okay, also not in a perfect position, but I don't know, I kind of give them a little bit of the advantage here.
Well, we're going to have to see what they're going to be able to do over towards B. The Mag 10 is going to be able to get killed on SKADERainwaker, but the trade's going to be coming in on towards Bubble. Bubble's going to be able to do a good job there with the grenade, but SKADERainwaker with that kill is going to be doing good work, taking out Ships, the person who trolled them last game with the Mag 10. Is going to be good, forcing a little bit of trouble on the side of SKADE, them having now obviously the upper hand in regards to player count, being able to have 4 of those T's to be able to try and bring this back, but only 2 Mag 10s and 2 AKs. They do have a lot of utility comparably to the side of the CTs, who are a little bit more restrictive. Rainwaker with the deal, we're going to be peeking down towards Banana just in time to be able to potentially see a couple of players here. Flash is going to be going out. He's going to be able to spot that one, going in for the shots. He's going to be able to take one, but not a third or second even. And now it's going to be Rome getting the revenge frag for Bubble. He's going to be here alone for a couple of seconds, and they're just going to be pushing aggressive. But so is he. He's going to be looking to counter this. He's completely white right now, but he's going to be running out. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Finds one, but couldn't quite transfer it on over. But Dennis Law's going to be pushing him from behind. Going to get the bomb planted down. And it's going to be leaving SKADERainwaker in a difficult position. Again, Bubble just spraying and getting damage done on this player. But the UMP here just a little bit too strong. That was an alright looking execution from SAW, but it just fell apart.
Yeah, SKADE have been doing really well to maintain the patience that they've had all along. So not rushing and over rotating, because we saw them do that a couple of times on Inferno, and of course it didn't really pan out. So now, despite the fact that sometimes those super late rotations can kind of shoot them in the foot, they found a way to balance that patience with still being able to get into position and still having enough utility available to them to make the late rotation work. And if they can continue using that formula, the SAW are going to be in big trouble.
See what they're going to be able to do. They're just going to get absolute slaughtered here. Just nothing they can do. I was just waiting for anything just to come through, but that's going to be the 10-10 score line. There's going to be pretty much no money left in the bag for SAW. Max around 2k for the players. They're not going to be spending anything this round. They have round loss bonus of 2.4k, so if they don't buy anything right now, they can buy full into the next round.
which is going to be imperative because they don't want to fall too far behind, especially given that this is the T side. So they, you know, they gave themselves an okay buffer, but it wasn't the best that they could have had, and now they need to kind of make up for that. And they're struggling. I mean, spam down banana, gets a kill through the smoke, to be expected because, as you said, they didn't buy anything, no armor, no nothing. So all it takes is a bit of a tickle, and they're not going to survive terribly long.
Yeah, Elmo is all the CTs need right now. Just get a little bit of a tickle out versus the side of SAW. Clocks. I mean, there's only so much you can do with them. If you do a waterfall kind of presence out through A, you might be able to get something, but honestly, it's being watched like a hawk right now by Dreamer with an AK. They're going to be pushing out towards short at the moment, and unfortunately there's 2 players right there. This should just be an absolute slaughterfest. Just nothing's going to be accomplished there. The last player's been spotted. Ships should be able to push through, just be able to get killed. Some damage is done. Rainwalker's Waker, rather, is getting killed. Man, I keep calling him Walker, but it just seems like a much cooler name. But hey, the headshots coming out on that Glock, rather, were absolutely fantastic, but not enough.
I love the little backhanded compliment there. You got a cool name. This would be cooler, but you know, that's fine. I keep wanting to call him Rainmaker because that to me makes more sense.
Rainmaker.
Indeed. Again, you should do like voiceovers. I feel like that's your niche. Like if casting doesn't work out, that's where you belong.
In a world where SAW were able to execute properly and survive.
Nice.
Yeah, something like that.
Fantasy world. I don't know. Maybe they can bring it back. They've had some decent rounds. Now they actually have stuff to use. As you said in the previous round, they had a bit more bonus here. I think that's a 4 round. So they're actually able to buy in. But that's what makes this round so much more important. Because of course, if they lose here, then... Yeah, okay, then they're at the full loss. So they can put a little fun boost. It doesn't get much, but it's fun.
Just even that split second make a difference. If he had an AWP, it would have been even nicer. And unfortunately, he doesn't get pretty much any damage out there. He did, what, 15 points of damage? And oh, SKADERainwaker is going to be chucking his smoke a little bit too far forward there. And they're going to lose complete control of Banana. And this is exactly what the CTs wanted. This was really well played by them. And now we're going to have to see the quick switcheroo. And the CTs have done exactly that as well. They had 3 people go over towards Banana, get that aggressive position, and now rotate back on over. Rainwaker sitting over towards Library, going to be in a decent position to be able to hold them out. He's just up angle. He gets some damage in. He's going to get headshot through the wall, so he's not going to get killed. Goes into the spam. Doesn't happen. This Molotov's going to cut him off, but the smoke completely takes it out of the context. SAWMUTiRIS is going to be peeking up towards Apartments. Gets taken out. Dreamer is going to be very low here at the moment. He's going to be able to take down one, maybe even a second one. He does a lot of damage, but not kill. Gets the second one in time to get the bomb planter, or bomb holder rather. We're just going in for the trade-off. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 advantage, potentially on CT's side. We're going to have to see what they're going to be able to accomplish on this front. 3 versus 2, rather. As one of them was just killed as I was talking there. SKADERainwaker looking to get the frag. He's going to have to do his best to try and clutch this out now, as SAWMUTiRiS was unable to hit those shots. And he has very low HP, 14 HP to be able to bring this through. I've seen worse, but he's been spotted. The shots are just being held, holding him down. He's completely caught off guard, and what a round from SKADE. Very well deserved.
So they managed to get themselves quite explosively onto the site. They used a lot of that util to deny sight lines, a lot of suppressive fire coming through. And in the chaos, because it was quite chaotic, a very large portion of that site had been covered in smokes. And at that point, you're not really taking those long-range fights unless you're kind of spamming through smoke. And we actually see... in Pit, where it's a perfect example of it, where you kind of have to push in to try and find that person. And SKADE do a really good job of retaking the space, which was very necessary at that point. And then they bring themselves into a 3 versus 1, and, well, SAW can't really do much about that. So now, after a round that they really had to win, they're back down into an awkward spot, and SKADE have everything to play with and everything to play for.
That double Molotov there, it just goes to show they weren't quite ready with that utility on how they should play it. They're already chucking over smokes over towards the B site, chucking it so it goes on center, but it's even pushed out of position by Bubble. If they decide to go in for this execution, I have a feeling that the Flash are going to be going over towards Banana. They're going to spot him out though, but the kill above is going to happen by one of the players. And they're going to be looking fairly happy. Just is going to get taken down. Rotations coming through, but the T's haven't reacted fast enough.
I feel like this is a very real scenario where SKADE get that revenge run we spoke about yesterday. and actually secure that spot. Because bearing in mind, folks, this is the last map in this series, and playoffs is on the line. The winner of this one will head in, and the loser heads out.
Oh, good headshot going to be coming in from Rome. Giving his team the advantage, they want to be able to try and get into the side, but Rainwaker is going to be here ready and waiting, and I'm not sure Roman is going to realize that there was a player already on that spot. SKADE over towards the B site. Peek around the corner. He's not going to get the kill. Roman just doing a fantastic job. Gets the kill. Spots out the play over towards the back of site. Does a lot of damage. He's got 10 HP. There's no way he should be able to hold on to this. He's taken down. Bubble, unfortunately, not going to be able to do anything. And that is a round wrapped for the side of Tees. That is exactly what they needed. But Dennis Law and Dreamer should be able to stay alive here. There's no way SAW are going to go hunting for them. They can't afford a single loss of weapons. Just look at their economy right now.
SKADE are the trust fund babies at this point, but SAW, yeah, I mean, they need to hold on to everything that they possibly can. And this, I wasn't sure that they would be able to come out on top of this one, but they proved me wrong, which is always a fun thing to see when teams actually show you that they can make the necessary adaptations and they can start to use their utility a little bit better than what we had seen previously. And I'm really hoping that it's not just a few shining moments, right? Because we need to see a little bit more consistency out of that, particularly because this is such a difficult side to get all that value on. And to be fair, SAW are doing really, really well. The first half was super scrappy. They've kept the second half scrappy as well. And I mean, they're not out of this just yet. So as long as they can kind of keep a foot in the door here, keep pushing forward. If they win out this round, SKADE won't be in too much trouble. So SAW realistically need to win a few rounds here, not just to get themselves back into this, but also to give themselves an advantage.
Oh, good push here from the AWP player, but Dennis Law's not able to convert that aggression into a kill, and Rainwaker's going to take damage for his aggression as well. Just and Arky are going to be able to benefit from that. A single headshot should now be able to take out Rainwaker from their guns. A lot of people like to underrate the Glil, but I think it's actually a pretty good gun. He's going to be going down. Banana takes down one. That's actually fantastic. They now have well, essentially up to a two-man advantage. If they decide to go and push against A, they're going to have a really good time. Push down Banana, though. This was actually a smart play from the CT player, knowing that they have a disadvantage, but this isn't so smart. SKADE is going to catch him off guard. There was a nice trade-off there, and now they know they should just go for the rotate. But so do the CTs, and they're reacting to this super fast. 55 seconds left. Flash going out. This is going to now cause a moment of stutter from the side of SAW. Or maybe not. If they're going to be playing completely confidently, they're just going to go in for the full aggression, and it seems like that's going to be the case. And I think at this point, if you are SKADE, you have to realize that, okay, yeah, we've kind of screwed up here, but let's just save. Because if you look at the bank, they've got enough money to be able to buy the next round. Like you mentioned, as you like to keep saying, trust fund babies. But I mean, at this point in time, just for people to realize what we mean, it's the fact that they've got a couple of rounds, like they had a couple of rounds in the bag. They've got enough money in the bag as well. Dreamer's got 6.5k. They've got enough money to buy into the next rounds, but that's it. They have to be super careful now.
I feel like SKADE reads that situation so well. Just on the off chance that someone does push out, because it's not often that SKADE actually push someone out aggressively through Banana. So you don't know for sure that it's going to happen. And for SKADE to have kind of clocked that, to put himself in a good position where he's able to get that pick off. I mean, part of that is I don't want to say it was instrumental, but it makes a huge difference because that gives you that player advantage, and then the rest of your team is able to get a couple more kills across the across over towards A, towards mid, and then you're able to push in over onto the site. And you get it basically for free. And you forced SKADE to have to save. And as we mentioned, they're still fine in this round, but the most important part was that it was a win that SAW needed. And I mean, all of the wins are wins that SAW needs at this point because they have to stay in this if they can. So now, realistically, what they're going to be looking at doing going into the next few rounds is trying to not only win rounds, but also get as many kills as possible. Try to cripple that SKADE economy as much as possible so that they can't really get themselves back into it. Because as we get closer and closer to match point, you want to be putting yourself in a position where you can buy and your opponent just can't. And they're just going to crumble under the weight of what you have available.
Yeah, I mean, allowing that AWP and that AK to continue on through is going to be super painful for them going forward, because that it's just allowing SKADE the extra bit of ability to be able to come back into this. Because if you like, the round loss bonus is just going to benefit SKADE at this point. They may well have lost the last couple of rounds, the last 2 rounds in a row, but not only do they have enough money to be able to buy into this round, if they buy smartly and don't waste money on like too much utility, like extra utility to drop on the floor, which is always useful. But if they think about, okay, next round, if we do lose this, we'll have a 3rd round loss bonus, and we'll also have the money in our bank. Bubble's sitting at 6k at the moment, so it's really going to depend on what he does. But if you look at the rest of the economy, they've got enough money to buy next round again. That is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you manage to string that many rounds together and you're surviving so consistently, okay, aside from... Actually, Bubble doesn't have the most deaths here. That being said, he doesn't... he's not really showing up. Ships has the most deaths, but he's also... it seems he's consistently playing that frontliner. So he winds up dying quite often, but he's, again, just being such a boon for the squad. He really shows up. I think he's had 1 or 2 quiet maps over the last couple of days, but realistically and kind of over time, he's been pretty consistently one of those top players. So been performing really well. And on the other side, of course, SAWMUTiRiS just... We keep talking about him, and it's because he has just been so good, so clutch. Fortunately, we haven't seen some of those clutch moments here. You were mentioning he had a ridiculous clutch percentage over the last few days, but he hasn't really had an opportunity to show that here now.
Let's see what they're going to be able to do in this situation. Dennis completely flashed out, gets trapped on the unfortunate wall there, and he's going to get taken down. Rainwaker is going to be on site. He takes down one Dreamer with 1, but that's all she wrote. Rainwaker on site is going to be spotted. They know where he is. They get the damage on him. They can't get the kill. They need to play passive, but they play aggressive. They get the kill on him. Bubble's going to get taken down as well. This could be the round that they really need to try and take this win for themselves. SAWMUTiRiS going to be peeking in towards CT. Spots out plays. Looking to go in for the damage here. He can't afford to die. He needs to stay alive and force this player death. And that is exactly what's going to happen. But you know what? They may have got the win, but the economy on SKADE is allowing them to buy. Bubble's going to be fairly low, but honestly, it doesn't really matter.
Felt like a bit of a clinical play there in that round, I must say. Very, very fast play. Immediately throw the smokes down in top mid to deny that 50-50, or to protect from it, I suppose. Immediately get in onto site. Yeah, they do lose a couple of players, but they get in onto site really easily. Deny a lot of sight lines, deny a lot of rotations, and that's a quick and easy site taken round win. And we wanted to be seeing a little bit more of that from sAW, a little bit more of that coordinated play, a little bit more of using that utility and getting the results from it. And now, complete converse of the previous round, they're playing incredibly slow, playing for as much information as they can get, and baiting out quite a lot of utility from SKADE as well. I mean, SKADE have got like nothing left now.
Yeah, I was about to say they've got a smoke and a decoy. So any kind of like pushes they do can really work in their favor. They just have to play smart, and I think that's definitely going to be possible for them. The push over towards A, little bit of bait here, trying to get the information out. SAWMUTiRiS is going to take a bullet to the knee, but he's still going to be adventuring around the map, trying to find his own kill if he can. Bubble playing for information down towards Banana. He did spot someone there. I think he saw the shoulder or maybe even the head of someone. Now they're going to be going for the boost. The thing is, they have no smokes to really benefit this. So Ships is going to have to look at the wall to avoid the flashes as they come raining in. I think this is going to be a fairly difficult position for the CTs, but they're going to be able to get the first kill. Look, going for the second one. It's not going to happen. Ark is going to get the kill. Dadislaw with the AWP is going to be able to get 1, and maybe even the second one. He's going to get tagged down heavily, though. Has to back off. Chucks in the decoy, hoping it can do at least something. Ships is going to be in a fantastic position. Just going to go up. He's going to get taken down there. Don't check the boost swap. Rome finally does, but not until it's too late. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 situation. This should not have been how it happened. They had 0 utility to be able to hold on towards the B site, but yet they've done it so convincingly. And now, even with the bomb going down, it's going to be advantage on the side of the CTs. Roman is trying to play aggressive towards CT, but the smoke is there. He's going to get tagged down heavily. I don't know what he's doing. There's no reason to play so aggressively in that situation. He checks down Banana, realizes no one's there. The bomb is planted for him, so he's going to be the key player here to stay alive. But it's going to be super hard. He's going to be able to equalize the man count here. MultikiL's peeking in towards CT. He's going to be able to spy out play. He's going to get taken down. It's going to be a difficult situation when they line up. He gets them both. Rome with the clutch takes the 14th round in hand, and SAW. That was close.
Oh, wow. There's nothing worse than seeing two players just line up so perfectly. I think the only thing that would have made that worse is if it had been a collat. Beautiful play there from Roman. And like you said, I mean, the bomb was planted for him. He just had to time it, and that timing was absolutely perfect. And it was touch and go. We've had so many of these touch and go rounds because SKADE, as we kind of mentioned, they had nothing going into that. They had one smoke and a decoy. And somehow they still actually managed to get a ridiculous amount done in that round. But unfortunately, it's not going to be enough towards the end there. Roman really putting in a lot of work here, bringing that back in a situation that seemed almost unwinnable. Now SAW just about on match point. And SKADE, don't think they were expecting this to happen. Particularly, you know, as they had, both of these teams had kind of floated this map all the way towards the end here, and we kind of came into this as it was a really big question mark, with this being a map that SKADE is very familiar with, that they play very often, that they often pick into. And SAW, you know, we had a little bit of uncertainty. It seemed like a fairly middle of the pack map for this team, and they've done really well. Similarly to what we saw with Dust 2 earlier for SKADE, you know, we weren't too sure how they were going to do on that, and they blew us out of the water. SAW doing really well here now.
Well, pause is over as we go through to the potential penultimate rounds if SAW can collect 2 rounds back to back. No, not the chickens. Leave them alone. What have they ever done to you, SKADE?
Seriously?
That's going to be a curse.
Chicken bullies.
Yeah, they need to add chickens to more maps, in my opinion. Gotta love them. But hey,
more animals.
Yeah. Well, the grenades are going to be coming out, and that's going to be a lot of damage. This could be SKADE looking to pick this back up. It is completely possible for them to be able to win this one out. All they have to do is just apply themselves, and they have the ability. They don't have the economy anymore, and that's the first time I've been able to say that in, I don't know, 4 rounds?
Possibly longer, yeah. SKADE have just been riding the wave here, and unfortunately, the money train has stopped, and they come into a very important round here with not much. Of course, the next round is going to be the most important one, because it's likely that SAW do come out on top of this one. Well, I suppose it'll still kind of anyone's game. Okay, never mind.
First kill is going to be from MultikiLs. He's going to be able to take down ships, and that's a fantastic kill. One of the heavy hitters on the side. The spot's over the wards. Pit has happened. That Molotov's going to be pushing this player out of his comfort zone, forcing him to be completely open. The double Molotov's going to happen. Complete waste of utility in that situation. Eventually, Dreamer's going to get taken down. But we've got 1 kill. That's going to be the second one. It's falling apart. The CTs have to fall back, save their FAMUSes. Oh, that is depressing to say. They're going to be going into the potential final round here with very little in the bank.
This is surprising. I mean, SKADE started this round really, really well with, you know, stringing together a number of rounds, and it's taken SAW a while to get themselves back into this. And I'm impressed, but I'm a little disappointed in SKADE, I must say. I thought that we would see a lot more out of them. But I kind of wanted to ask you, you know, how are you feeling about SAW? Because we mentioned a couple times, but you were disappointed in them yesterday on Inferno. So do you feel like they're doing better today?
On the T side, yeah, they're actually coming through and doing executions much better than I really expected. But you know what, SKADE have not been making it easy for them, and so the fact that SAW are coming through and doing this is really good. But I definitely don't think it's been an easy journey for them, and there's been a lot of mistakes on both sides, and in particular on the side of SAW. So the fact that they have 15 points is a bit of a surprise.
Glad to see that they've made their way back into this. And yes, they SKADE saved the 2 FAMUSes. They've got 1 more. They only have the 2 M4s here. Match point. Everything to play for. Once more, guys. Reminder. Playoffs is on the line. Everything to play for here.
Everything's played for. A lot of damage initially going out. About 100 damage across 2 players with nades and utility on the side of SAW. So this could really make the difference. I always mention it, but those M4s are now, and the FAMUSes even have so much more like ferocious versus SAWMUTiRiS, and just the push in towards mid is going to be coming in. SKADERainwaker trying to gain the utility and knowledge. Roman's going to be able to get a kill. Pushes on towards Sight, over towards Long. It's going to be Bubble. He's going to get taken down as well. Short position is going to get spotted out, I think. Flash is going to be working out. I think he spotted him pushing over towards mid, but it's all fake. It's all a decoy. They're pushing over towards B. There's one player there. It's going to be Ships, but I think they might have read this one, and they're going to be looking to try and find out what is going on, and it is going to be just looking to try and find some kills. SAWMUTiRiS is going to be able to get a frag if he's careful. Pushes up in towards apartments, realizes there's one there, chucks down a Molotov, pushes him out there. Smoke goes over towards, obviously, B, cutting off CT. But unfortunately, Ships is going to get taken down. This is where it could all fall apart if they're not careful, but Roman is going to be able to get the kill on the rotation. Back over towards A is happening. The final player could be happening here. Ships going to be left in a 1v4. Famous in hand. Roman, they're passing each other like, well, Ships in the night, but not any longer. The shots were fired. First kill comes through. He pulls out his knife. He's going to be running across. Tries to pick it across. What are you doing? Check your angles. GG, well played. We see SAW take the win. The GG is going to go in their favor, and I mean, just super well played on their side, and they're going to advance. They're going to go through to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this is really exciting.